I mean, I really feel like we're contributing to the well being of others through vacation. Time is the only thing that we have, you can't get it back. And so once it's spent and you've made great memories, you have that forever. Knowing that people are making lasting family memories, it makes it a great experience.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Ankerpoint Vacation Rental Podcast. I'm Emma Thomas, and this is Joshua Asperditis, our content and creative lead at Ankerpoint. And today we are joined by Melinda Johnson. Melinda is the owner of Mountain Time Cabin Rentals, located in the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee. She's been a property manager since 2016, and so she's got some really great experience in the vacation rental management industry. And we're just so excited to welcome her to the podcast. So, Melinda, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Melinda, to get us started, would you? I'm really curious to hear a little bit about your journey. We've known each other for a little bit now, but I actually don't think I've ever gotten to hear the story of how you kind of got started in the vacation rental industry and what led you to be interested in that.
Well, it was at a soccer game, actually. One of my kids played on the soccer team, and one of the moms was talking about her cabin in Gatlinburg and how it was doing so great. And I was actually looking for a business opportunity at the time. And so I asked her if she would go to lunch with me, and she did, and she pointed me towards some resources, and then, I got with a realtor in the Smoky Mountains, and it just all clicked from there. I loved it. Of course, I grew up, coming to the Gatlinburg area for vacation with my family, and, there's something special about the Smoky Mountains, just the peace that you find when you, see Mount LeConte and you're driving up the parkway, and, just simple things like watching the taffy guy make the taffy and, the bluegrass band at Old Smoky Moonshine and just, sort of that old-fashioned fun that families have in the Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge, Sevierville areas, that kind of gets you connected to sort of that Americana, root that we have, that's unique to the Appalachian Mountain area.
Yeah, all of those things, everything you just listed are things that I grew up doing, and, I know a lot of people who grew up doing those things too, and so going to the Smoky Mountains and being able to stay there and live there because I grew up in Knoxville, and so but my family would occasionally go and stay in cabins in, the Smoky Mountains and experiencing that and, like, living in the culture that you, like, go and visit and everything like that it's really special, so that's amazing.
But that's how I got started, the rest of it is boring business stuff, but well, it started at a soccer game, and then, you know, the School of Hard Knocks started and we, figured out the rest, but one of the things that is so cool about this business is that you kinda learn by doing, and then, so many other people who um, are working in the area. It's a big family, and we help each other. And so that's one of the ways I got connected with Ankerpoint was I was at a small conference in Gatlinburg, and we were connecting with the folks who run the Explorer program to get free activities tickets for our guests. And we were just talking about everything in the business, and the subject of software came up. And so they said you should look at Brightside because they're local. They're out of Maryville, and they're a family-run business, and I really connect with family businesses. We are a small family business as well, and I just love working, with people who are also local, who share the same values and the same, type of life experience and family values that I really treasure, and having those relationships at work where we spend a lot of our time at work, and having those kind of connections really it means a lot to me. So I got connected with Brightside, and then Anchor Point came out of that, and I've really enjoyed having Ankerpoint as my marketing team and just knowing that I'm not alone in trying to get the word out about my business. um, I have a whole team of people who have different levels of expertise in different areas of the marketing, aspect of the business, and so it just gives more power to my small business to have that kind of partnership, you know, and we can relate. At one point I was with a company called Logify, and they're great, but they're European based. So when you're working in a with a business that's not American, things are just different, and there's a time delay, and they have never been to our area, and they don't really know how it is or how best to serve our guests and our needs. So I really appreciate that aspect of working with Anchor Point.
We really appreciate that. That's always hearing things like that is like, that's why we do what we do, and especially with the Smokies, like, growing up there, and a lot of our team, is based in, Knoxville, and so we're just in Maryville and surrounding areas, and so that's really and that's, it drives a lot of what we do. It's just our love for the area, and I know that that's something that we've kinda connected on before is just how much the Smokies and Gatlinburg and just the whole area, means to you guys too, and, especially, like, as a company and as a family-run company too, is that something that you said you talk about, having a family-run business and everything, how does is your family still involved in Mountain Time quite a bit, and how does that look for you guys?
Yes. My daughter works with me directly. She handles guest communications, um, everything from making reservations to doing customer service. Uh, so she works from home. She's got her 3 kids that are homeschooling, and I'm just so excited that she can work with me. She also helps me with the listings and pictures, and she puts out some, social media content as well. Sometimes she'll add to that, and, it's so much fun when you can work with, your family members and people that you call your friends, being also in business with them. It just makes it a enjoyable experience because, they say, "Do what you love and you never work a day in your life." Well, it's not that it's not work. It's a lot of hard work, but there's more enjoyment when you can enjoy, the people and you're for them and they're for you, and it makes it a great experience.
Yeah. That's amazing. One of our other questions for you is what your favorite part about the vacation rental management like, just industry is as a whole and just doing that. Um, is that something that you really enjoy or as an aspect of the company, or what would be your favorite part?
I really enjoy the thought of building, a business that involves my family, but I would say my favorite part of the vacation rental industry and working, is just the fact that knowing that people are making lasting family memories in our cabins and helping facilitate, them to have a wonderful vacation, and, just hearing from people how much fun they had, how their kids had connected with their grandparents, and they had family reunions, and there are things, that people tell us, personal things about their lives, a cancer diagnosis, and they wanted to go to the Smoky Mountains to spend time with their family. Sometimes it's in memorial of a lost loved one, and all those things are so meaningful to people. And when you think about the American lifestyle and how hard everybody works, and people don't often get a vacation, that we're able to help them, relax and enjoy the peace of the mountains where that may be their only vacation that they've had in years. Or they may be going through something in life, and and just having that vacation adds to their mental health, their physical health. You feel I mean, I really feel like we're contributing to, the well-being of others through vacation, and, uh, and I love the idea that we're saving people money because in a cabin, you have, a kitchen where you can make meals, you have entertainment options within the cabin, you have your own hot tub, many times in a game room, and so the adults can be having a chat out on the deck, with a cup of coffee, in rocking chairs and catch up, and the kids are playing air hockey and old arcade games from the '80s and just enjoying each other's company. And, it's just an aspect that I love the thought of how that adds to people's lives.
Mm. That's really amazing, and that's the whole purpose of it. It's just rewarding and, like and you find purpose in the stories that you hear from people. I know that I've heard a lot of stories about mountain time, just in our time working with you guys of customers kind of sharing their testimonials and things like that, and just the amount of care that you guys put into just every interaction that you have with your guests.
Yeah, I love hearing those reviews when people are taking the time to share. It really is rewarding to hear, when, our goal is for people to have that wonderful time and just a seamless, um, easy check-in, comfortable beds, lots of fun using the Explorer tickets or going to Dollywood, hiking in the mountains, and just how memorable that is, time is the only thing that we have, you can't get it back, and so once it's spent and you've made great memories, you have that forever, and I love that thought.
Yeah, that's amazing, that's so good.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I'm really impressed with all of the amenities that you just listed. You know, you're talking about the arcade machines and the spas and that, and so kinda tying into that, what are some of the things that, that people probably don't think about when it comes to vacation rental management? A little bit of, like, the experience that you've had and things that you've picked up over your years. What are some of those that people might miss that you're doing, to set up those experiences?
Yeah, I think, the challenge is behind the scenes, making sure everything is working, everything is great before the guest gets there, everything is clean. There's so much background work that goes into it from, scheduling regular maintenance for the air conditioners, and then getting deep cleaning done, making sure there's enough forks for people and, the air hockey table has a puck on it and all of those little details that people don't realize how many details are involved in, making sure the cabin is ready to go for every guest, for them to just have a seamless experience.
I mean, that's perfect. Like you said, it's so many details, and if one of them is off, people notice it. So it's getting everything together. So with that, what is the craziest, thing that you've ever seen in a cabin?
The craziest thing I've ever seen in a cabin, after a guest was, somehow, uh well, there's a couple that but somehow the people broke my log bed,
Oh, no.
and yeah, it was twisted and contorted, and I thought, "What have they done to this log bed?" And when I asked them about it, "My bed is broken," because I had, 4 hours to get a new bed in
Oh,
there,
man.
and we were trying to figure that out, and, I said, "Hey, the bed is broken," and they said, "Oh, what's the weight limit on that?" And I I have a sense of humor, and I was like, "2 tons, I mean, 3 elephants could fight on this bed and it wouldn't break. I do not know what you've done." But, they paid for it, and I have a relationship with the furniture store in that area, and they got me a new bed right away, and so the next guest never knew that happened,
That's awesome.
and, so I would say one of the other crazy things we found in a cabin was, a lot of the cabins have a pool table, and, kids that are unsupervised sometimes can get into mischief, and the kids were throwing pool balls at one another
Oh, no.
and, broke the toilet. So, like, the base of the toilet is, made of porcelain,
Right.
and they threw the pool ball so hard that they broke the base of the toilet. So,
Wow.
this is very unusual. Th These stand out because they're so unusual. Most of the time, people are very conscientious. They take care of the place just like it was their own. They don't, allow their kids to go completely wild, but, once in a while, there's something that you're just like, "My goodness," "How did you how'd you think that was okay?"
As an owner, what I'm hearing is dodgeballs, not to be used with the pool balls, and then the log beds are not for whitewater rafting. That's the only thing I can think of that would break it.
Supervise your children.
Yes, that's
That's a
right.
big one.
That's amazing.
This episode is sponsored by Brightside Short Term Rental Software. Do more, work less. Life is complicated. Your vacation rental software doesn't have to be. Let Brightside help reduce the stress in your life. Brightside eliminates painful double bookings. We list you on Google Vacation Rentals so you can receive more direct bookings. Keep more of your money and get your life back. Visit bookonthebrightside.com today to schedule your free demo. Brightside Short Term Rental Software. Do more, work less.
A little bit more on the operational side. Is there any of, like, with your experience, what are some of the biggest kind of bottlenecks, whether it's like cleaning or maintenance, or owner communications that you've kind of faced while growing? Like, what are those problems that you've had, and then how have you kind of solved them over time?
Yeah, my, uh, favorite way to get ahead of things is through preventive maintenance checks. I think it's so important as we've grown to be sure through inspections that everything is ready for the guest. I can't get enough eyes on the cabins um, to make sure they're ready for guests because the cleaners might miss something, somebody else might miss something. So we try to get as many people in to make sure everything is good and everything is ready, and that was kind of a learning curve. For a while, I didn't understand that aspect of it in the very beginning, and so that meant we were more reactive when it came to the guest arrives and they find something that needs attention, and we send someone over to repair it. But we really want to get ahead of things, so we, go to the cabin and check everything on a regular basis to be sure it's ready for the guests. We don't want them to find it, broken. So to the best of our ability, we try to get ahead of things on in that way. It's always a challenge, to make sure that you get cleaners who are very conscientious, who, would wanna go vacation in that cabin themselves and are detail oriented. So it's so important, to let them know how much we appreciate them. I think, a lot of times the background work inside a cabin can be kind of a thankless job. When something's wrong, blame gets thrown around and it'll end up, the cleaner this or that. And, really everybody wants to do their best. And if we miss something, like we love the opportunity to make it right and to fix it. But what a challenging, and physical job they have, and so, I think one thing for me is learning that everybody needs positive reinforcement. Everybody needs to know that they're appreciated and to be encouraged, that we see you, we see the effort that you're making and how much we appreciate it. Sometimes I'll send some of our great reviews to our cleaning supervisors to pass those on to the cleaners to say, look, you made a difference in helping these people have a great vacation, and we really appreciate that.
Man, that's awesome. I love, not only hearing the practical from you, but also just your heart for the business. Like, it's clear you just love people. You want them to have a great experience, and that goes from your guests to your team, which is, to me, the best kind of leadership.
It's really a people business, and that's so important, and there's so many personalities, and there are so many different kinds of people and so many customer service challenges. But, I think when people know that you wanna do your best for them and you wanna help them, that that does help, in customer service a lot for them.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love it.
We've kinda talked about this in preparation for this podcast, but just about how people might believe that hiring a vacation rental manager is too expensive for them. Um, but for one, I know that your owners, how much they appreciate you and your management. I've seen their testimonial videos and I've heard from them firsthand just how much they appreciate you guys. Um, but what would you say in response to those who might say that it's too pricey to hire a professional rental company?
Well, I would say you're already paying for a lot of those expenses yourself, and so when you hire a manager, they are taking over a lot of the expenses that you're already paying. So, for example, for your channel management software, your dynamic pricing software, um, we have a bookkeeper that keeps up with all of the taxes. People don't realize sometimes how many different taxes are collected on a monthly basis, and, people who only use one channel like Airbnb, they say, "Well, they're being remitted on my behalf." Well, they may not be remitting all of the different taxes. You need to be aware of what taxes, are owed and which platforms are remitting what taxes, and that gets a little complicated. It's really worth it to get your taxes right. Um, but we're also covering, host fees and subscriptions for your VRBO listings, so that takes that off your plate. The hosting fees for Airbnb, those are off your plate. So we're doing your scheduling for your lawn maintenance, your AC maintenance. So we're doing all the preventive maintenance for your cabin, scheduling those, your pest control, making sure your guest communication is all done from the time that they are looking for a cabin, helping them decide what's right for them, and then all the way through to check-in information and information on the area and check-out information. So start to finish, we're available to our guests 24/7 for any needs that they have. So you don't have to worry about the phone ringing at 2 in the morning or there being a need, or what if there's a maintenance issue, we're taking care of it. So you're not only saving money, because it's not, an amount that's, um totally outside what you're already paying. We're absorbing some of the costs that you're currently paying, and then you're paying us to make sure that 24/7 everything is going well at your cabin. There are a lot of background things like the scheduling of all the different people that are coming and going. Even I don't know if you guys have heard of dog inspectors, but we have a program that helps us prevent or detect bed bugs, because you can train dogs to sniff for anything, and there's a company called Dog Inspectors, which we use, and they do random checks on the cabins and the bed bug sniffing dogs go in, and they make sure, that the cabin is clear of bed bugs, and that's something that is so valuable because, when travelers are coming and going a lot in different places, they may not realize they're bringing them in their luggage, and we take care of it. We make sure everything is clear and ready for the guests, and that they can trust that there are no bugs.
Yeah.
So we have, all of those things from cleaners, maintenance, pest control, air conditioning, deep cleaning. We schedule all of those things and take care of them. And then all the background stuff that Ankerpoint does with our marketing, posting on social media, sending out emails to former guests and inviting them back with a repeat guest discount, and making blog posts and updating our website, and all the things that, we're using AI to try to optimize listings and scheduling the photographer. We pay for the photos for our clients, so that's something that we're taking off their plate. So It does save money ultimately because our goal is to pay for ourselves through adding channels where you're not just on one channel, um, taking over that tech piece to where you can be sure that you're getting maximum exposure for your property and everything start to finish is taken care of.
You really don't realize as an owner, especially as a new owner, how much goes into taking care of one property. I mean, what do you think is probably the number one thing that you've seen that that new owners are surprised by when they first come into the vacation rental industry?
I think, a lot of times if people buy an older property, they don't realize, the rate at which, things have to be replaced periodically to stay, competitive in the market, that there's normal wear and tear that happens with the hundreds and thousands of guests that we have coming through, and, um, and we want things to be great for every guest, so when things wear out, they have to be replaced, and I think sometimes people can be surprised by, with a vacation rental, it's getting a lot of use. And as careful as people are with kids running through and stuff like that, we a house is just like your house. It has to have a roof. When it gets old, it has to have a new air conditioner. Um, and sometimes people will put their money into buying a lot of cute little bear things, and little trinkets and stuff like that. But you have to be prepared for when things wear out and they need to be repaired or replaced. That's definitely a factor that you wanna be prepared for when you're buying a cabin.
Yeah, all those little things are the ones that get you because you're just not prepared and or just not thinking of that when that's the first thing. You're excited to buy a new cabin and get started, and then, the little things come out of the blue and surprise you.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are unique to the area that not everybody is used to, like having a well is different from having city water. Having a septic tank is different from having a sewer, and they require care and maintenance as well. So it's a little bit different because of our area is unique in those ways.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So taking a peek behind the curtain, what would you say some of the best services, in your opinion, that a vacation rental manager can offer, excuse me, would be? What would have them be interested?
I would say one of the things that we can offer to our owners that they can't do individually is offer their guests the Explorer tickets. Um, with Explory, every reservation gets, a free ticket to, several of the attractions, and we've kinda curated a list that we think are really popular things that people would love to do. So each day of the reservation, they get 1 ticket for Dollywood, 1 ticket for, 2 different water parks. They get, museums and music shows and dinner shows and zip lining, horseback riding, some mini golf, and, even a dinner at Mama's Farmhouse, and it's an added amenity that, over 80% of our guests are using that during their stay, and getting a free ticket. So you can imagine, so you get 1 ticket for each of the attractions for each day, and they expire daily, and they are, 1 per cabin, so you can get more at a discount, but if you have a couple traveling, say for their honeymoon or something, then you're already gonna be getting 50% off with the free ticket that you get, and then if people have a special occasion to celebrate, a birthday or an anniversary, they can let us know and we can get them a second free attraction ticket to a single attraction of their choice, and that's a very popular program. Also, um we have, Marriott Homes and Villas is one of the channels that we can offer for listings that qualify, and they have to meet a certain criteria to go on Homes and Villas, but once they get approved, then, Marriott guests who have, points can use their points to book our cabins, and we still get paid, the same, money for those. But it's a unique channel that we just, launched with them, earlier this year, and, it's been popular, and, I think it's great that people can use points that they've built up for business travel, to be able to book their vacation with their family that way. Um, but I would say, it really is more work than you think, and so, handing it off to a good conscientious property manager, where we are taking care of all the marketing on their behalf, that is a great advantage, uh, especially since, like, at this point, we have about 15% of our business is coming in directly to our website, and that's really good for a company that has less than 50 properties that we're getting that much traffic directly. I think that's wonderful. So, when people list with us, they get that visibility and that advantage of the marketing dollars that we're putting into that on behalf of their property.
Yeah, that's amazing, especially for people who are, it's not their full-time job. They want kind of a side hustle and they wanna bring in some extra money, and so they buy a cabin but they don't necessarily have the expertise for that, and so having someone like you guys um, to, like, guide them through that process is invaluable, really and truly. Um, so how would you say that you market cabins differently than the owners themselves would?
Well, like I said, we have so many people who list their vacation home. Um, have it on VRBO and Airbnb, and we do those as well. We also have our own website, mountaintimecabinrentals.com, which, has the benefit of the Ankerpoint marketing, where we are, posting regularly on social media. We are doing email marketing. We're doing, Google, search engine optimization, Google Ads, that draw people in. So there's a multitude of channels. In addition to VRBO and Airbnb and our own website, we use Booking.com also, and we use other channels that are also becoming popular, like Hopper Homes, and then Marriott Homes and Villas, where people can use their points to book our cabins. And so we're using lots of multiple channels, and all of these marketing techniques, which it's it's a lot of there are a lot of moving parts to, bring in those guests and to capture that business, because I think so many different apps will get popular with different generations. And so capturing those grandparents who are booking a cabin for a family reunion, or the younger couples, there are some channels that appeal more to business travelers or millennials or Gen Z. And so each of those captures a different segment, I think, of the market. And that's a real advantage to be on those multiple channels.
So my next question, is what expenses should cabin owners expect besides the management fees as they're kinda looking into this process and what that partnership would look like?
Yeah, so in addition to your, management fee, which covers your marketing and your photos, and, your host fees and submitting your monthly taxes and generating owner report and all those kind of things. Um, we have certain pass-through expenses, we call them, which are billed at actual cost. So examples of that would be, your lawn maintenance, your pest control, your air conditioner maintenance. Those are, not included in the management fee, but they are, billed at cost. So we do not upcharge for those things. We'll schedule them and get you a discount with our company, um, and but they'll be on the owner report and they're billed at cost. So you can expect, those costs. And then anytime, like, the sofa needs to be replaced or something like that, we can help owners shop for good deals on things like that. Um, but those would be good examples of additional costs on top of the management fee.
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. Because and because, I mean, you were talking a little bit earlier about how you have relationships with different local companies, like a furniture store and things like that, and so having those relationships really in the end helps them save money because that's I mean, you're not they're not just doing it all on their own.
Right. Yes, we get exclusive discounts for our customers, so we're always, um, out there to try to find good deals, for our owners when if they need a pool table or an arcade or some furniture, we'll get out there and shop the sales and see, what to try to get them a good deal on a quality product with the partners that we have.
So, earlier you were also talking about how you guys are, you're a family-run company, and you all have been around for 10 years this year, which congratulations. So you're still, a smaller company, you're growing. So what are some of the advantages, that there are to working with a smaller company, for new property owners?
Well, that's a good question. I think what my owners say to me about being a smaller company and working with us is that we have that personal touch. Um, we take care of the cabins ourselves. We are inside the cabins personally, and so I go between basically my computer, working to get more visibility and working with marketing, and then scheduling things for the cabin, and then I'm inside the cabins checking things also, in addition to the maintenance inspection, the cleaning inspection. I'm actually in there too, and I answer the phone when my owners call, when they text. I can answer questions for them very quickly, where the owners have my number, and when they contact me, it's that they're dealing with someone that they know. Um, they're with a bigger company. I think sometimes they can be great, but they can also feel like more of a number with a bigger company, um, and not always be able to get the answers that they need very quickly. So it brings in that personal aspect, which so the customer service is personal for the guest as well as the owners. So it really goes with the values and the Smoky Mountains of, you know, we use technology and we love those things, but we also love the people to people aspect of still seeing people face to face or having a human voice on the phone answering questions. One of the things that we've been able to do that maybe the bigger companies don't is so there are some people out there, believe it or not, there are still older people who are not they don't know how to make a reservation online, and they don't even really use email. And those people can still call us, and they may just Google mountain cabin, Gatlinburg, or something like that, and we pop up to the top. We had a lady come and stay, and it was her and her husband's 50th or 60th, I forget, wedding anniversary, and just kept saying she called me maybe like 15 times, and she said, like, "God led me to you." And, I don't think she kept getting grandkids to come in and help her with um, the online thing, but we can help people do the reservation ourselves over the phone and take the information down and help people. We're capturing guests from that personal aspect that we would not have gotten if it had been all online or all with technology. So we still have that personal touch, and I really like that.
Yeah, and that's so important too. I mean, having a personal connection to people in a customer service that seems a little too cold to say customer service, but in a customer service setting, like having a personal touch is so important. And I want to highlight too what you were saying about having customer service for not only your guests but also for your owners as well, because I feel like that's something that not a lot of property management companies talk about is making sure that you have good customer service for your owners too. And that's really important and very unique too.
Well, it's so important because, a home, a cabin, or a condo, it's a very big asset. it's a very big investment. And so, knowing that it is being cared for and someone is willing to answer for that, we don't take that lightly. That's a huge responsibility. So, I own 4 cabins myself, so I started with my own before I started managing, and, so I have that intimate knowledge of the business from being an owner myself, and then every time, someone trusts me with their property, I treat it just like it's my own, and, all of the cabins are when I'm matching up a guest to a cabin, I try to find the right cat property to fit that guest's needs, whether it be location or view or someone with limited mobility that needs a flat entrance or a bedroom on the main level without having to climb stairs or different parking needs or different types of vehicles. We can help that with that personally.
Yeah, that's amazing. Um, so I have 2 more questions for you, more on the guest side and one on the owner side. When it comes to owners, how do you so we talked about, the customer service side of things, but then every now and then, you need to set clear expectations. So how do you do that, um, while also handling difficult conversations and maintaining kind of the standards of mountain time?
Yeah, we try to set expectations in the beginning as much as possible. So, for example, one of the mistakes I've seen people make is that they don't want to spend money on something like pest control. Well, pest control is huge in the vacation rental industry and the Smoky Mountains specifically because it's nearly a rainforest and there are always creepy collies trying to enjoy our warm and wonderful cabins. And so, staying ahead of things like that are so important. So we try to set expectations with the information that we send out to owners when they're thinking about um, having a cabin manager, and so we try to make those things clear in our agreement, and then we keep in communication with the owners and send emails and talk to them over the phone about their unique needs and what the expectations are because it's so important to keep things really nice for your guests. It makes a difference in your reviews when people feel like things have been well maintained and things are replaced when they are worn. So it's important to understand that having a cabin investment, it comes with the responsibility to keep it great for your guests. It's not just, like milking a cow and the milk comes out. You gotta feed the cow too.
Right.
You gotta make sure the cow has water and what it needs to keep producing the milk.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great analogy. Um, so my final question is, so when it comes to your guests, how do you handle situations where a guest has an issue, but their demands for a solution are unreasonable or they're just not something that you can do at that point? How have you dealt with those in the past?
So, I try to assure my guests that I'm on their side, like, I wanna solve their problem. So, I I want them to have a great time, and I wanna solve their problem. So, Um, one of the things we do if there's something that's gone wrong and there's no way we can make it perfect for them, we do have the opportunity with Explorer to offer them a free ticket to an attraction, additional ticket, or two for an attraction to kind of help compensate them. That way, it doesn't cost the owner any additional money. So that's kind of our first line of defense that we do. Now, when somebody's being unreasonable, I try to use my best customer service voice and let them know I wanna help them, and I do and I offer the very best that I can within reason. And so, if someone's being unreasonable, basically what I do is I very kindly repeat my best offer, what I can do, and assure them that I'm doing my best and that I want to help them. So, usually people who are unreasonable even will kinda calm down with some just kindness and repetition of what I can do, and this is my best. I'm gonna give it to you, and that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, that's the best way to handle it because, I mean, when you have someone who's you don't know what they're going through. You don't know if they're having a hard day or something like that. And so when something like that comes up, and I mean, 9 out of 10 times when I've heard a story of someone being unreasonable and they responded to with, a little bit of grace and some just like kindness and understanding. Yeah, especially that. It turns out to be a perfect situation and everybody's happy. And every now and then there's something that, you just can't make somebody happy, but for the most part, when people are met with grace and understanding, it just
They wanna know that there's some effort and that somebody
yeah,
cares. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, and I was just gonna say, I mean, once again, like, I know I said this earlier, but just hearing your heart, and just the way that you approach this, and again, like, even in all of your questions, you probably know this, but just the way that you care for people, and it's really is amazing, and so, 1, just wanna say that's amazing, keep it up, and then 2, if there's anybody that's been listening to this, that was like, "Wow," after hearing your heart saying either, "I wanna, be a part of it," or "I wanna book with you guys," where's the best place to find you guys at?
Yeah, our website is mountaintimecabinrentals.com, and our phone number is there, um, and, they can call me. They can, go to our website. We even have a cabin map if you wanna choose which area you want your cabin in, and there's a drop-down menu, that shows the different sizes of cabins that we have, and then there's a cabin rental management tab that gives you more information and testimonials from our other owners, of what we do. And then there's also a form you can fill out that we'll get by email, and if you want us to reach out and give you more information.
Perfect. That's awesome. Yeah, well, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Thanks for sharing your wisdom. I know I've gotten something out of it, so, yeah, I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun.